Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Okay, so Kid Galahad stops Jazza Dickens. Corner pulled him out just before the 12th round. You could have said let him see the 12th round out, but at the end of the day, Jazza Dickens, in my opinion, had enough, and the corner did the right thing, in my opinion, stopping the fight. He was bashed up. He had a broken nose. I think he had a broken nose, certainly, because the corner were telling him breathe out through your mouth, which implies to me that the nose was broken. His eye was smashed to bits. Well, it wasn't smashed to bits, but his eye was definitely swollen. He was losing every minute of every round. The right thing to happen. Now, this fight to me started off as a bit of a false dawn. What I mean by that is that Jazza Dickens in the first round was very good, was very assertive, landed a couple of straight lefts on Kid Galahad. Kid Galahad's head wasn't moving at all off centre line, and he was able to land a couple of left hands. He was going to the body a bit, and he was looking to set up the left hand to the head. Now, that was a trick that Jazza Dickens missed in this fight, because Kid Galahad, the commentary team were making notes of the fact that even yesterday they could see it, everyone could see it, he was tight at the weight. IBF have a rehydration limit on the morning of the fight of £10. Now you can weigh whatever you want after that, but on the morning of the fight you have to weigh no more than £10. He was 9.9 pounds, so basically just on the cusp. So a lot of people felt that Galahad stamina might be a question. You know, if he's definitely having a hard weight cut, he's tight at the weight. How would he feel? If there's body shots going in from Jazza Dickens early on, that will pay dividends late on. We didn't really see any body shots. Pretty much, it was almost like Kid Galahad took that first round off almost. And then from then on, apart from the third round, which, you know, you could argue that you could give Jazza Dickens that round. I didn't personally. Kid Galahad won every round big. What Kid Galahad was doing so well was the basics. Like, he was doing just everything that you need to do to win a fight. You know, he was offsetting Jazza Dickens with the jab. The jab is such an effective weapon. It's such an effective punch. It's the first punch they'll teach you in the gym, and it really can. It can set up everything. You know, you can hook off the jab. You can use jab to get inside. You can use jab to keep your opponent off guard. You can blind your opponent with a double jab, set up a right hand. Basically, what Kid Galahad was doing was his jab was going longer than Jazza Dickens. Even when Jazza Dickens was using his own jab, Kid Galahad could come over that with his own and land on Jazza Dickens. He was just throwing a couple of double jabs, then coming with a right hand, going to the body, switching stance. You know, Ingle fighters tend to be able to switch more, not southpaw seamlessly. Kell Brooks, to the exception, he never really did that, but most of the time, Kid Galahad definitely does it. You know, typical Wicker Bank kind of style, and that was really it. You know, these guys fought years ago, and that was a much more competitive fight, although it ended earlier. This was one-way traffic. You know, I think it's a combination of Jazza Dickens having seen better days and Kid Galahad improving massively. I think it's a combination of the two. I don't think it's either or, that Jazza Dickens is just shot and Kid Galahad's just significantly better. I think it's a combination of the two. Kid Galahad, you know, was going to the head and body. He was doing a lot of things in there as well. You know, the foot. He was standing on Jazza Dickens' foot a lot. Now, it's very hard to see, but the commentary were making notes of it, because obviously we can't really see foot level, but they can. And Andy Lee was saying, no, it's excessive. Believe you me, it's excessive. The referee warned Kid Galahad. He ended up taking a point in the later rounds. At the end of the day, look, if Kid Galahad wasn't stepping on Jazza Dickens' foot, I don't think it would have made a blind bit of difference. I think it's an advantage, and he's going to take an advantage wherever he can get it. But irrespective, I mean, Kid Galahad had such an easy target, because the defense, the guard that Jazza Dickens was coming up with was so tight up above, or he was trying to be anyway, that he was leaving himself exposed to body shots. So when Kid Galahad would jab, he'd look and be like, okay, I can't get through this guard, I'm going to get into the body. He was having a field day with Jazza Dickens' body. You know, I think the nose was broken after, I think, 4 or 5 rounds, which is when the corner were saying basically, you know, breathe through your mouth, which is always an indication that, you know, things are bad, that your nose is broken. There was blood everywhere. You know, Kid Galahad had fly gloves which were white, but they looked red by the end of it. There's blood everywhere. He really smashed Jazza Dickens up, and Kid Galahad is not a noted devastating puncher, it has to be said, and they're kind of worse when you see a fight like this, where it's one-way traffic, one guy is taking a beating, and you know, realistically, Kid Galahad probably hasn't got the puncher power in order to get rid of Jazza Dickens, and that's when you really want to see the corner do the right thing, which they did, thankfully. But yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking type of style that Kid Galahad has, and when I say heartbreaking, the person on the receiving end, because he's not hitting you like Emmanuel Navarrete hard. He's not overwhelming you with pressure like a Mauricio Lara or a Emmanuel Navarrete like that. It's not like that. He's kind of just keeps that range, hits you hard enough to get your respect, but then, as Andy Lee said, death by 1,000 knives. He's not massively, concussive, destructive puncher, but he's hitting you so much, he's offsetting you, he's moving a lot. Kid Galahad's footwork is very, very good, very impressive. Was able to move, just the movement of him, the way he would pivot to one side, the way he would just step back, step in, take a little step to the side. Jazza Dickens was constantly having to reset. He had an idea of what he wanted to do, but he just couldn't implement it. Then after the first round, he was throwing shots to Kid Galahad's body. He stopped doing that. Or he was throwing straight lefts to Kid Galahad's body, I should say. He stopped doing that. And then he was looking for headshots. Landed a couple of hooks now and then, but they were few and far between from Jazza Dickens. There really wasn't much to report on it. Kid Galahad, as I said, excellent performance. Him against Josh Warrington, that could have happened. I know definitely it would have been a lot more competitive than this. I'm not sure who would have won. I think Josh Warrington maybe still would have nicked it. Although saying that, if there was no fans, you'd probably give it to Kid Galahad because the fans would have added to it. But nevertheless, excellent performance by Kid Galahad. He now has the title that Josh Warrington vacated, and Josh Warrington has Mauricio Lara, which is no mean feat. I can't see him getting through that. I really can't. Definitely Kid Galahad was more active than I remember him being in the Warrington fight, it has to be said. But just excellent work, excellent performance by Kid Galahad. To be expected. I did expect this fight to go to full 12. To be fair, I expected Kid Galahad to win the majority of the rounds. Probably a kind of 10-2 kind of fight. I didn't necessarily expect it to be this one-sided, saying that. But it shows that, Kid Galahad, he's an excellent fighter. And onwards and upwards. Whether he sticks around at featherweight, I do not know. I would imagine that potential unifications. Obviously, you don't have to do the 10-pound rehydration. So if they elevate Lee Wood to full champion, we could see that potentially. It's an easy fight to make to both matchroom fighters. Potentially could happen. Or he could go to 130. Either or, to be honest with you. That's my thoughts on that. Let me know yours in the comment section below. I'm going to leave it there. What did you make of Kid Galahad's performance? Were you impressed? I only caught the first week of fight camp after the fact, but this show tonight was better. It was much, much more improved. It was much better. I'll talk about that more in review of the week on Monday. But for now, I'll leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, of course. Give your boy a help out. Subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 5k soon. Smash the like button if you did. Lads and lasses, I'll talk to you. Peace.